I'd always thought Czech brand Skoda offered solidly built vehicles with exceptional value for money, but I'd never been a fan of the rather clunky styling on display. Well, until now. In fact, the latest 2016 Skoda Superb turns that notion on its head. This time, Skoda has produced a quiet, comfortable and ludicrously spacious family wagon that also happens to look the business. It's a tough ask for any manufacturer, even for prestige brands, and to produce such a handsome 5-door means Skoda has what I consider a best-in-class effort on its hands. Well, have you ever seen so much space behind the rear seats? Well, I haven't. There's 660 litres of load space back here, and along with the space, Skoda have also covered off the little things like these baggage hooks, 4 in total, and in here a cargo net so that the stuff you're carrying doesn't end up flying all over the place. Every hatchback should have one of these. Well, if you think that's good, allow me to show you what best-in-class rear legroom looks like. Skoda has always been known as one of Volkswagen Group's cut-price brands, but I question that notion when there is so much comfort and luxury in the family bus. The upholstery is a blend of leather and upscale Alcantara, and it's supremely comfortable, especially during those hot Aussie summers when leather is virtually impossible to sit on after being parked in the sun for hours. As we've come to expect from this brand, the Skoda Superb comes loaded with everything bar the kitchen sink. It's impossible to list every single feature. The list is way too extensive for that. But central to the infotainment system is this 8-inch touchscreen with satellite navigation and smart links to Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which automatically connects to your iPhone once you plug the lightning cable in. There's also a high-def rear camera with front and rear parking sensors, important for a car with these dimensions. Adaptive cruise control, 3-zone climate control and 9 airbags. And what about the conveniently stored umbrellas in each of the front doors? Just like a Rolls-Royce. But that's not the half of it. This top-shelf 206 TSI model comes loaded with the image pack, which also incorporates things like keyless entry and start, full-scale ambient lighting for the dash and doors, and drive mode selection with paddle shifters and sport suspension, which lowers the car by 15mm for a noticeably sportier stance. It seems like every other day you spend with a Superb, you discover yet another feature, like a cooled glove box and a cooled console bin. Mind, it's a fairly steep $7,000 price hike over the mid-spec 140 TDI to this top-shelf 4x4 model, but it does buy you considerably more excitement by virtue of what's under the bonnet, and that's the 2-litre punchy Turbo 4 from the Golf R, one of the world's most celebrated hot hatches. It's got 206 kilowatts and 350 Newton meters, whereas the Golf gets 380 Newton meters, but who cares? It'll still do 0 to 100 in a blistering 5.8 seconds, and that's 1.4 seconds quicker than a Golf GTI with Performance Pack and DSG. Even if you have only a hint of the enthusiast inside you, this is the variant you want if you want a bit of thrill from your family chariot. More importantly, it feels quick from behind the wheel, but only when push comes to shove. Otherwise, it tends to respond in a comfortably docile manner, even when you put the boot in. So even in sport mode under full throttle, the Superb isn't exactly a bull out of the gate, but once underway, there's plenty of pull, with peak torque coming on song between just 1700 RPM and 5600. And that's all the performance you'll ever need from a family bus with these dimensions. Flick the shifter over to the left into manual mode and the big Skoda behaves more like a hot hatch than the family wagon it really is. The DSG is brilliant when you're banging through the gears. The gear changes are crisp and clinical, exactly how you want them. Traction and grip are guaranteed thanks to the car's permanent 4x4 system. The car feels exceptionally well tied down in any conditions, even the wet. The downside to any of these spirited jaunts will be felt at the Bowser. Don't expect to get anywhere near the claimed 7.3 litres per 100 Ks. Over the week, we've got closer to 12.7. Ride comfort is simply superb, especially with the optional adaptive dampers, which offer a good breadth of change between comfort and sport. The latter still offering a decent ride. The steering is good too. There's some decent feedback through the tiller so that you can actually feel what the front wheels are doing. Trying to find fault with the latest Skoda Superb is tantamount to nitpicking. It's a large, stylish estate with more rear legroom than a prestige limo. The list of features is exhaustive, and all this from around 52 grand in Australia. It's crazy value for money.